Good afternoon. As we continue with our periodic bed of elements, elements in chemistry, yours truly, Professor Dr. Dolphy Gilpin, here in the lecture theatre, Decatur, Georgia. And be known that there's a difference between Professor Dr. Dolphy Gilpin and Professor and Dr. Professor Dolphy Gilpin. We'll be using them alternatively whenever one is optimized. Then we'll be using it for that purpose. So that sometimes you'll see me as Professor Dr. Dolphy Gilpin and sometimes as Dr. the Professor Dolphy Gilpin. So we'll be using them alternatively depending on the optimization. So here we are, and we first now consider now the synthesis of our electronic periodic table. And so what will be happening is that we'll be have a series of these electronic LEDs or lamps, bedside lamps. So bedside lamps, and now this is a bed. Periodic bed of tables in comparison with the periodic tables of elements, of which I've already done about 4 of those, with tables, elements ranging from hydrogen back to the nuclear elements, the lanthanide and arcanide series, and the nuclear series. Okay, so here we have it. This thing can hold about 5 of these things, and what we need to start off is 7. And so you'll see me projecting 7 of these. Right now we have 2 in the periodic bed of elements, in the electronic periodic bed of elements. And here I have a multiple of these LEDs or bedside lamps, macro LEDs. But what is happening here is that these, the plugs are removed for transportation purposes. We wanted was to decrease the mass or the weight while traveling, and since we had over 100 of these, it behooved me was to remove the plugs. This is the plug here that plugs into this thing from these. Right now we have a diminished amount because we have left samples in certain chosen spot where we have gone to do our presentation. So this will be the electronic periodic bed of tables. And like I said, the first 7 is 7 of these, and we'll have chosen. The word chosen, we'll see it later. The word chosen, with C standing for carbon, H standing for hydrogen, O standing for oxygen, the atom of oxygen, and chosen is 2 O, CHOO. So a double O would make it now a molecule of oxygen, because oxygen is that special element, that's the life sustaining element. Everyone on the planet has to living entity have to breathe in and breathe out this oxygen, and sometimes in combination with other elements like carbon dioxide in exhalation, inhalation and exhalation. Carbon dioxide is exhaled, but with all the microscopic elements, anaerobic bacteria and things like that, we have some different metabolism. But here we have it, and we'll just have 7 to start, representing the word chosen, CHOOSEN. So C for carbon, H for hydrogen, O for oxygen atom, 2 of them, OO, the molecule of oxygen, for as you know, oxygen is found in nature as a combined O2, a molecule of oxygen. CHOOS, S for sulfur, E, well, we're going to be using the E sometimes as a small e, and sometimes as a large E. And N the last letter for nitrogen. I can't think of the E at the present moment. There's a little bit of a temporary amnesia for the E here, as I would say, the element E. But you know, in combination we have like E, Se is selenium, and let's find a E in combination. Aluminum is Al. Okay, whenever we get to that, we'll finish it up. But it's chosen, the word chosen, and in another lecture we'll fit in the E. Okay, so the N is for nitrogen, going backward, the E, and then the O, molecules and atoms of oxygen, S for sulfur, H for hydrogen, and C for carbon. So that's it. And they will be projected on our periodic bed of elements in comparison to a periodic table of elements. This will be a periodic bed of elements. And this is the electronic version where we have these emitting light, lighted up bedside lamps or macro LED, in which the atoms would be inscribed carbon with its molecular weight and its molecular mass, atomic weight and atomic mass. And you know the symbol, which is written like carbon 6, 12. The 12 is usually written at the bottom for the mass, and the 6 at the top for the atomic number. So that's just for an example. So H, in continuing with the word chosen, would be 1 for hydrogen, and atomic mass and atomic mass, 1. Well, in more accuracy, it will have some decimal point going out on it, but for now, atomic mass and atomic weight it will be considered 1. But there's a difference also between atomic mass and atomic weight in terms of these decimal point precisions. CHO, oxygen, 816, 8 atomic mass, 16 atomic number, and there again we'll have some decimal point where they differentiating the weight from the mass. And this is in our periodic bed of table. So we return with now the periodic bed of elements in the traditional sense and in the electronic periodic bed of elements.